Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Action Comics 145, Merton Gloop and his Magic Horseshoe. This is actually a better version of a story we already got, where the Mafia convinced a man that he was essentially unkillable, or nothing could hurt him at all. He was invulnerable. That, of course, turned out to be a massive lie to get him killed. But I found that story ineffectual because, why don't we just go to the extreme when it comes to Superman? If Superman's not dealing with something that kind of matches his over-the-top, powerful being, and I'm not just talking about someone to punch, but an actual problem for him and his power set to solve, then why are we even bothering? The story ends up falling flat. But here it works a bit better because we're actually dealing with something that's a bit magical, though it's more scientific. Merton Gloop is some sort of waiter or bartender? I'm unclear on what he is. He goes to see a professor after Lois asks him, because where they're at to meet this professor, the professor hasn't shown up, so he goes there. This professor has invented some sort of force field that he's put around a horseshoe. Merton finds it, thinking it's going to be lucky, and it turns out to be lucky. Or unlucky, because he randomly runs into two things that should have killed him. From what I can guess about this horseshoe is it seems to repel anything with kinetic energy heading towards it. So if you come at it at, say, a certain speed, it will deflect you. This even involves Superman's X-ray vision. It goes right back into his eyes and sort of throws him off for a second. It doesn't quite blind him, but he can repel Superman. And this, in fact, ends with him KOing Superman in some sort of weird charity boxing event where Superman's just taking on person after person. Technically, the guy is cheating, though isn't Superman technically cheating with his powers and beating up all these people? He deflects Superman's punch back into Superman, so Superman knocks himself out. Merton tries to use this power to make money, and that backfires because he can't get the money, because when it's thrown at him by Superman, it just goes back. And Superman finds it unfair for him to make money this way, even though Superman does it all the time. Once again, we deal with the hypocrisy of Superman. It's completely fine for him to cheat at things. He's doing it for a good reason. Merton's doing it for a bad reason. Guess it's not as apocryphal as I said it was, but still, Superman gets to cheat a lot. The story ends up having to end with a conflict with Lois getting the horseshoe. But this is really where we come to the problem. We don't have Superman solve the problem. Superman never solves the conflict. He never figures out a clever way with his powers to get around the force field to end this whole charade. Instead, it just runs out of power. There is no solution. The story is just going to come to an end by itself anyway. So what did Superman have to accomplish here other than it creates a situation for Lois to nearly be killed? Which I guess is a conflict, but it's not like the conflict of the story. You didn't create a conflict for the specific horseshoe, or you didn't know how Superman could end this, so you just kind of have time run out. And that's not a satisfying conclusion to the story, but it's way more effective than, say, the last version of the story, which also had Lois being tricked with an item thinking she'd be invulnerable. See, it's kind of the same story. I just want Superman to solve and defeat things in a Superman comic. I don't think that's a lot to ask for. Okay, that is it from Action Comics 145. Merton Gloop and his Magic Horseshoe. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notification when new videos up. And do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And why didn't this professor ever make more of this force field? It seems very useful. It can apparently defeat Superman if you try hard enough. You can't seem to get through it. Okay, have a great day.